So there are some exciting policy changes ahead here in the UK at the moment around sustainable and regenerative farming. These broadly come under the umbrella of something called ELMS, which is the Environmental Land Management Scheme. And within ELMS, there are subdivisions as well. But essentially, farmers will, in time, be rewarded for delivering public goods, public services. So it's public money for public goods. And restoring soil health could be one of those. Restoring biodiversity could be another. Improving the water cycle, so that helping with preventing surface runoff and that type of thing could be another subsidy that comes through. And also providing access to nature. Looking further afield, so on the continent, the European Union have something called the Common Agricultural Policy, which traditionally has rewarded farmers purely based on the amount of farming land that they own. So it's quite a simplistic way to receive money from the EU. That is now under review, and there are excitingly developments underway at the moment through R&D projects like EU Horizon, which are looking at how to create the right tools and metrics to measure things like biodiversity on farm as well. So we're seeing these changes come from a policy level. It may take a few years for them to come to fruition, but it's a positive trajectory at least.
For sure that the EU from farm to fork regulation, AMR is already part of this from farm to fork. So AMR monitoring should be part of it. However, indeed, it depends, will be in the country, it's still in the recommendation level. For the wastewater though, for the wastewater, urban wastewater, the proposal to EU directive already submitted, where in January 2025, every wastewater treatment should monitor AMR twice a year, at least twice a year in the inlet and then outlet to understand how much we introduce AMR problem to the environment. So, and then also the new other regulation is not forced yet, but it must be done as a optional monitoring for the water use for this urban wastewater for agriculture. AMR should be monitored also, and this regulation will be in place quite soon, actually in June 2023. So means next year. I'm talking this for the region where the water are scarce. Of course, I would like to reuse the water. Maybe I would not to say reuse water. I believe that it's just water. It is a water that, however, we need to understand, of course, the potential risk from this water, especially when they use for agriculture. So those are the three policies that I knew that in place. However, in the agriculture, I knew that the draft of AMR monitoring in manure, it's already prepared. And I'm not sure when it will be submitted, but there is already a big consortium in EU. So if you want to apply manure as fertilizer, that will be the first to be regulated. However, from the sustainability point of view, you need to make sure that if the producers produce a lot of antimicrobial resistant pollutions, then most likely that you will not get the tender, for example. For big producers, it's a big case, right? Like if your product not being selected, then it's not good for business. So I hope that more sustainability part will be enforced